Hello, LHS staff. One final time before we meet face-to-face for our professional development meeting on August 22nd. We are ready to go through the Truth and Myth quiz that you took on slide 20. And hopefully, if you're watching this video, this means that you've navigated, read, and participated in slides 1 through 25 so far. I hope specifically that you've gone through slides 21 through 25, which give you a general overview about eating disorders, specifically the three main types of eating disorders: anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. So let's check those truth or myth questions. Your first question was, the causes of eating disorders are complex and involve social, psychological, and genetic factors. This is true. Eating disorders are complex conditions that arise from a combination of long-standing behavioral, emotional, and psychological, interpersonal, and social factors. These include but are not limited to low self-esteem, feelings of inadequacy, troubled family relationships, history of abuse, cultural pressures, biological causes, and others. So eating disorders are very, very, very complex. Not one thing in and of itself causes them, but they are a combination of many factors put together. Your second question, eating disorders are most common among teens and young adults. True. This is why this lesson is so pertinent and relevant for you as educators who work with teens and young adults every single day at Lefford High School. 9 out of every 10 cases of eating disorders are found among girls and young women. Your third question, there are no cases of males with eating disorders. This is false. Males account for 5 to 10% of bulimia and anorexia cases. Approximately 10% of eating disordered individuals coming to the attention of healthcare professionals is male. Your fourth question, people with anorexia or bulimia may overexercise. As we've gone through the presentation on slide 21, we know that this is true. Overexercising is when someone feels driven to exercise as a way to burn calories from food that he or she has just eaten. People with anorexia or bulimia may overexercise. People with anorexia may overexercise because of the intense feeling that they're overweight, and people with bulimia may overexercise as a compensatory behavior because of the binge eating that they just participated in. The pressures of a culture that promotes thinness and the perfect body contribute to causing eating disorders. This is definitely true. Part 1 of our lesson today focused on this question in its entirety. This is definitely true. Cultural values that glorify thinness and place value on the perfect body have been identified as contributing to eating disorders. Treatment of eating disorders involves several different health professionals. Certainly, this is true. Typically, care is coordinated by a licensed healthcare professional, including but not limited to a psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker, nutritionist or dietitian, and/or a medical doctor. And treatment may include an individual, group or family therapy, and medical management. Support groups, nutritional counseling, and psychiatric medications under careful medical supervision have also proven helpful for some. Eating disorders can result in serious health consequences, including death. Definitely, this is certainly true. If untreated, eating disorders may become chronic and lead to severe health problems, even death. The mortality rate is 4% for those with anorexia nervosa, 3.9% for those with bulimia nervosa, and 5.2% for eating disorder not otherwise specified. And binge eating disorder used to be categorized under eating disorders not otherwise specified, but there are other eating disorders under that category which are not included in this presentation or in this lesson today, but there are other eating disorders besides anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating disorder. The three main types of eating disorders are anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. This is certainly true. We have learned that through part 2 of our lesson today. The term eating disorders has come to mean anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating. However, there are many lesser known eating disorders that we talked about a few slides before, such as anorexia athletica, which is compulsive overexercising, night eating syndrome, Prader-Willi syndrome, pica, and others. This includes our reflection on our truth versus myth quiz, and this also marks the end of our online lesson today. I hope that you've learned a lot about eating disorders and how the media is just one of the many factors that contribute to the development of eating disorders. I also hope that you have learned about the 3 main types of eating disorders: anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder, and are ready to dive into our group activity whenever we meet face-to-face on August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Come ready and prepared to discuss what you've done in your online lesson. We will reflect on our online lesson first, and then we will jump into our group activity. Thank you so much for participating. I can't wait to see you on the 22nd.